Fear can create suspicion, anxiety, and impact even the educated mind. So, truth must be uncovered through facts, logic, and deduction, and not through emotional reactions of superstition.
Welcome to BWB, where we reignite the joy of reading in those who've lost this amazing habit and inspire you to dive into two books every month. We uncover life changing lessons and relatable insights from the most thought provoking books of the century. Tune in and let us distill the essence of these treasured reads into actionable life skills perfect for busy lives like yours. For the month of July, we discuss the fiction book Hound of Baskervilles, written by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, and the non fiction book is Think Again, written by Adam Grant. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow our channel Brunch with Books. How make it a point to watch this episode till the end for knowing about what we have in store for you. Keep watching. Thank you.
Thank you, Jasbir. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to this July edition of BWB. I'm super excited to share with you all one more timeless classic novel, and that too a legendary detective novel by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle that introduced to the world the brilliant Sherlock Holmes and his friend Dr. Watson. These characters, though over a century old, feel so dynamic, present, and deeply relatable. Their adventures not only entertain but also teach us the art of deducting, analytical thinking, and logical decision making. Don't you think these skills are very important even today? Detective fiction like this highlights the rationality over superstitions and the importance of staying curious, skeptical, and attentive. So, come, let's unravel the gripping mystery behind one of literature's most chilling cases, The Hound of Baskervilles. So it was a wonderful day. Sherlock Holmes and his friend Watson, they observed a visitor had left behind a walking stick, and he was in a hurry, most probably. So Sherlock Holmes starts looking at what who could be that person, and with his deductive skills, he put together a profile of that person. So he says he's most logically a country doctor. And looking at that walking stick, he says it is something, it is a memento given to him when he left his service in a city and came for a country doctor position, and he walks a lot, and he has a dog, and he leaves his walking stick behind most often, and his dog would always hold it in his teeth and go after him. And then he says the dog is most often, it could be not very small, but not very huge also. And he says it is curly haired Cocker Spaniel. And Watson is so impressed. He says, you can even tell the species of the dog. He says, why not? It is already on my doorstep. So then the visitor comes inside, and he is Dr. James Mortimer. And he has got a case that he wants to give it to, he wants to discuss with Sherlock Holmes. And he says, the case is very curious. It is about his patient, Sir Charles Baskervilles, who had heart attack and died. And it is like a very open and shut case, but he suspects the doctor died of fear. And he starts to explain to Sherlock Holmes about the curse of the Baskervilles, and he talks about the ancestor of Sir Charles, who was Hugo, and he had done some immoral act of kidnapping a village girl, and when she had escaped, he had gone after her into the moors. And there he was killed by a hound, a demonic hound. And this legend has continued to haunt the ancestors, the lineage of all those people. And then he is very worried. So Sherlock Holmes asks him more details about the case, and he wants to know what happened when Sir Charles was killed. And the doctor says that particular day, as usual, he had gone for his walk. But he doesn't go into the moor, but to the gate where the moor ends. And he was obviously running back with a lot of fear. And there are he died of shock and fear. And then he says there are no footprints around him, but he has observed the paw prints of a large hound. And this gives to the conclusion in Sherlock Holmes' idea mind. So I believe that the mind is both powerful and weak, easily swayed by reasoning as well as by fear induced by superstition. Fear can create suspicion, anxiety, and impact even the educated mind. So, truth must be uncovered through facts, logic, and deduction, and not through emotional reactions of superstitions. So, what is your take on this, Siddharth? What do you say?
That is amazing, Dr. Geeta. Knowing and reading, Sir Conan Doyle's novels, Sherlock Holmes being my favorite, and we picking up Sherlock Holmes in this particular July edition. I am really excited learning about the stories from Hound of Baskervilles, my favorite novel, and how we can relate to it in today's world regarding superstition. I know of a particular superstition where chaining of dogs is something which is done to protect the family. So that is something which is a belief system in some parts of India. But then it is also told that dog behavior changes when they are chained, and they howl a lot. Even howling is a bad omen or a evil act. People say that something bad is going to happen to you. But then we don't understand the dog's behavior. Dog being human's best friend mostly, is always looked at as a animal which can bond with humans very easily. But then we tend not to understand their behavior well. We chain them, or we keep them uh, stuck in a particular cage in the house, or a particular place in the house, is our way of restricting their movements and creating more fear in them for humans. That can give more problems to us as humans rather than it can solve our problems. So typically dogs are kept for security, and that can be a reason why they become hostile to us in this kind of a situation. So I feel this superstition definitely should be waved off, because we as humans, we if we are also caged, we will be feeling bounded by fear and limitations, and that happens with the animals as well. So I feel that they should be let open, they should be given the space to feel free, feel homely, and then they are more of a good friend than a hostile friend in the home. So that is a superstition, but then if we put some thought and put some thinking, thinking through the truth and facts about it, then we know that it should be avoided. This is a belief system which should be broken. And that's how I look at it as an example. What do you say, Shitapa?
Absolutely, Siddharth. I have a similar, quite relevant example, and many of us, well-educated people, suddenly pause and feel uneasy if they see a black cat crossing their path while they are heading to some, good work, or in general as such. And it is strange, right? Because it's just an animal, but people have that belief, and how powerful, deep-rooted these beliefs and superstitions can be. It's like in that moment, your emotion is taking over your logic, and mind is like a compass, right? We build we always guide towards, it will guide towards what is true, what but fear is, or superstition, it clouds over it, and you will be lost in your direction when that happens, and you will do what has been believed rather than what you can question, that is it really true that something will really go wrong, or I will always be like uh, in that fear that no, something may go wrong. So I think we should truly focus on the facts and pause, reflect, and ask ourselves what are we really heading towards, and question those beliefs. So over to you, Sujata, for more insight from the nonfiction book.
Thank you, Shritapa. That was amazing. Both Siddharth and you both of you spoke about those popular superstitions, which still many of us, though we are educated, we do believe in. So now that's what Adam Grant says in his book, Think Again. He says that the mind is very powerful and also very persuadable. And he gives us a gentle nudge to stop being so sure of ourselves. Like in chapter 2, he says something the smarter you are, the more likely you are to fall for your own thinking. It seems strange, seems shocking, isn't it? But then he gives an example of people who confidently, they explain how things work, like zippers, toilets, but then afterwards they realize that they have no clue because they really don't know how zippers work, but they're talking about it. So we often have confidence, but we lack clarity. So, what Dr. Mortimer, he's also a learned man, he's a doctor, practicing doctor with degrees, and yet he's believing that ghost story from the 1600s. Why? Because fear plus legend, it's a very powerful cocktail. Even educated minds like Dr. Mortimer's are swayed when emotions take over. So Adam Grant would tell him, yes, Dr. Mortimer, you have the brains, but then you also sometimes have to apply brakes and think more deeply. That's it. So thank you. Now I would like to pass on the baton to Jasveer. Jasveer, would you like to add something?
Thank you, Sujata. Yes, I completely agree about this. The fear of superstitions, actually, fear that keeps playing on the human mind. I have a very strong example from my own life. The flat that I stay in is flat number 13, and 13 is supposed to be unlucky. And I have never faced any kind of misfortune. I have been very fortunate staying in this house. My father has been in this house. So it's like all our generations have actually so it's like prospered. So it's just a mindset, it's just there in your mind, and whatever you believe in will come true. So it's just to have the right beliefs. If you believe in fear, fear will lead your life. If you believe, have faith, faith will lead your life, and I know of so many educated people who would not want to buy a flat with flat number 13. I know of so many people who really believe in Friday the 13th. For me, honestly, it really gives me a lot of adrenaline rush when I have to watch a horror movie on Friday the 13th, because honestly, nothing of those things happen. And it's just a matter of having control over your mind. Yeah, I mean, I agree with what Sujata said. So I now hand over to Dr. Geeta to tell us more about the story and the interesting tales of the Hound of Baskervilles. Over to you, Dr. Geeta.
Thank you, Jasveer. And that's very comforting to know that it is just the figment of our imagination, and you have given me the proof, and I feel so, comforted about that. Yes, coming back to the story, even Sherlock Holmes is also very rational minded. So he keeps probing with Dr. Mortimer more details about what has happened. And he brings out a document which belonged to that family of the Baskervilles. And there is a document where the ancestor, had written down the story, and he has, counseled his children to be very careful. And this is something. So it is like an inheritance that is handed over, and the legend of this fear is passed on. So Sherlock Holmes now asks more, and he asks, like, what has happened now? What is going to go ahead? And doctor says now he has the Sir Charles has an inheritor, a nephew, Sir Henry, who was staying in Canada and now already in London. So he's going to meet him in an hour's time, and he asks Sherlock Holmes, what can be done? Should he go and stay in the hall of Baskervilles Hall, or should he do something else? Because he is very scared about what will happen after happening to Sir Charles. If something same happens to Henry, he is not going to forgive himself. So Sherlock Holmes tells him, bring him, I will meet him. So the next day, he comes with Henry, a young man, and a very robust young man. He doesn't believe all these stories, and he doesn't even know the background of it. He had just heard, something fairy tale which was told when he was child, and he hadn't given much importance to that at all. And he says he is going to stay there in the Baskervilles halls, and nothing is going to stop him from going there. Then he asks him, yes, you are right, but I am going to ask somebody to come with you, to go with you to the hall and stay there. And then he asks him, did something happen? Any out of the way incident that you can think of? And Henry tells Sherlock Holmes that he got an anonymous letter which was made up of the cutout of the letters from the newspaper. And it warned him, if you value your life, you will not stay here, you will go back. And he also mentions that one of his boots was missing, even though it is a new boot. And he was searching for it everywhere. And it is so funny because only one boot is remaining, and it is a new boot. Somebody would have taken both. Why did they take only one? So Sherlock Holmes has something in his mind, and he is suspecting it. And he says, "Yes, we will come to the bottom of it." And now Watson is going to go with Sir Henry to Baskervilles Hall, and he is going to be there, vigilant and going to look over it. So I feel this kind of growing fear around curse of the hound made people, and even Sir Charles, avoid the moor, and even Dr. Mortimer hesitates to negate the existence of the hound. So anxiety spreads easily when there is doubt and an emotional storytelling. So whereas Holmes, he chooses not to give quick judgments, but waits for more evidence. His decision to send Watson with Henry displays his methodical planning and strategy to solve the mystery. So this is what is required in reality, that we take decisions with a calm and calculated plan. So what is your reflection on this, Siddharth? Would you like to add to this?
First of all, it's a very scary tale you are talking about. Uh, when we are only emotional, while we are uh, definitely there is a fear factor here, and emotion clogs our minds, and then we are feeling that fear, like this story of one boot left out, and then the curse story. All these are stories which are building the fear, and the fear with emotion is clouding their minds, and they are not able to think rationally about anything. And this is a thing which happens a lot to us, even while we work, like the phishing mails or the scams and spams we get stuck to. There may be a mail that you have won something and a big amount is there, and or maybe you will get a offer, and you may be getting a job which is more than the value of thinking about, like a 5-figure job or a 6-figure job salary. And then you get to that, and your mind is not able to think about whether that is even genuine or not. So these are like traps, hit your emotional uh, capacity of both the fear and the happy factors. And those things, when they happen, you don't think about them at all. You tend to fall for them. And that is what has happened maybe in the founder Baskervilles also. And it happens to us in normal life as well. Because I know, like, so many people I have been in network with complain that they have fallen trap of some scam or some offer which actually was taking out money from their bank accounts. We know recently there was a electricity bill spam, which was a scam which was going on. There are so many things which keep going on like this, and just for either money or some offer or something free, we fall for it and we go wrong there. I think that is where we need to be more uh, observant of the facts. We should look at the content properly. We should look at who is sending us these things. We should try to find out what is the original source of this information. And if we are able to do all that, then definitely we will not fall for this. But in life, we are seeing these things happening because we are in a AI world, we are technology world, and unknown people, we are connecting within the virtual space, and we cannot trust anybody. So that is where I think the mindfulness and being observant, being more watchful of what information is given, is basically what Sherlock Holmes has been doing in his novels. And I feel that we should learn from those skills. We should be learning from Sherlock Holmes, the way of deductions, and that will help us definitely. What do you say, Shitapa?
Absolutely, totally agree, and very nicely related in from the real life stories. And this has been a very common trend. I'm sure in couple of countries this happens, and people have been victim. And one of the fear which is currently going in corporate world is another, like AI will take all our jobs. So if you ask the IT person, they are more scared now that AI will take our jobs, and without fully understanding its role, that they will just be, mm, surrounded by fear, that most of them do not understand how AI works. And if you look at this, what an industry leader at that time is doing is they are not panicking. They are trying to study the trends, what is happening, and learning new skills, and then figuring out like how to use this particular AI technology to improve, and leverage more technical stuffs, getting it done. So they are adapting actually rather than reacting. So that's the thing. We fear, and fear makes us freeze and overreact, because we don't know what's coming then, because we cannot think logically. And when we stop and look at it at a fact level and plan, we actually do better. And we will see what we have progressed in, medicine, in lot of other things where AI can help us. So I think progress doesn't come when we panic, but rather if we pause and look at what perspective it is coming to us. So over to you, Sujata ji, for adding more insight to this from your book.
Thank you, Shritapa. Oh, that was beautifully said. Yes, fear makes us irrational. It makes us do things quickly. We jump into action and don't think carefully. Like when Dr. Mortimer, he talks of the spooky curse. Holmes, what does he do? He doesn't laugh it off also, and neither does he jump to any conclusion. He just observes, analyzes quietly, sharpening his logic tools, like a chef sharpening his knives. This is a classic Adam Grant advice from chapter one. He says that there are four kinds of people: the preacher, the prosecutor, the politician, and the scientist. Like the preacher says, he slips into the role of, I am right. The prosecutor, you are wrong. Politician, let me win them over. But the better role is that of the scientist, who is always testing, open, and always asking. And he knows he could be wrong. He's not so sure that whatever he's thinking is right. And that's Sherlock Holmes for you. He's not trying to win, but he's always trying to learn. So maybe in modern times, his motto, Sherlock Holmes' motto, might be keep calm and double check the footprint. Like as Siddharth also said, we get so many spams and all that, and we fall a victim to it so often. So that's it. So now over to you, Jasveer. Love to hear your insights also.
Thank you, Sujata. I completely agree with your views on being a prosecutor, a priest, and politician. And the example that I would like to share is about parents of teenagers, wherein teenagers, we need to be a little worry about the company that they keep, because there is a lot of their mind is in such a position that they can easily get influenced by things like drugs or alcohol, so instead of being a prosecutor and trying to tell them you are wrong, or being a priest saying that I am there for you and I can guide you, the right approach would be to be a scientist, to keep a watch on them, and observe their behavior and accordingly take action without causing them the fear of being caught, because no one wants to be in that position. So it has to be a very balanced approach, and we can learn so much from both these books to have this balanced approach in life. Thank you to both Dr. Geeta and Sujata. We had a very insightful session today, and I would ask all our viewers to please follow, like, and share this episode. And every month we would come out with a quiz on which will be at the end of the month. So please do follow us, follow our channel, and you would be updated about the story as it progresses. So we'll meet again next week on Thursday on the same channel on YouTube. See you. All the best. Bye.